So your article is really kind of looking at the next 30 to 90 to even 180 days from now. And it's really about communication. How should practices be communicating during this next period of time?
Often. And I would say genuinely, like in the sense of, you're allowed to talk about the elephant in the room. You're allowed to address those concerns. You should be addressing those concerns.
Have you seen differences in those who are good communicators and those who have not been?
Definitely,
What's come up?
I think it's really just the feedback from their patient base and their communities. Those who have gone above and beyond and have put videos out or posts or put something on their website that says, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're reopening. This is what this looks like. Or, this is how we're going to be open for emergencies during that time. The feedback's been tremendous. I've seen a lot of comments, especially from people saying, thank you so much. This makes me feel so comfortable for being here. In this article, you specifically list 2 points about what they should be communicating. The first one is safety. I think it's really because that's like the biggest question people are asking. And I think that we're in this interesting space where people are taking for granted the fact that dentists were already safe places to go. Dental practices were already putting all these things in place to be safe spaces for cleanliness and health and whatever. And dentists, I think, on the other hand, are taking for granted that people didn't know that or maybe didn't realize it. There's just not enough information out there. And people now, especially, they want answers. They want to know. They want to know very specifically what's going on. Whatever they were doing before, whether it's, those email newsletters that they're sending out, social posts, really push that. Really go above and beyond there. Invest in some ads if you're not already doing it. I say that very unbiasedly. I just think that that's a great way to get in front of people. They're asking questions. People are asking those kinds of questions. Is it safe to go to the dentist? People need to know. Answer that question in an ad. How amazing is that? That's what it's there for. So first was safety. Your second point was around the topic of availability. Think about it. We're backlogged 2 months of appointments. I mean, ideally May, June, July should be booked because they were booked 6 months out. Right. But we're dealing with 8 weeks of reschedule. So the likeliness of having spots for new patients is low. Maybe just carving out new patient blocks. Carve out an afternoon where you only schedule new patients. Get them mixed in with your regular routine just so that they're not waiting around and potentially go find someplace else to go. I've seen Saturdays open. I've seen there was one practice. It's not a client of ours, but in a group I'm with. But she actually went to 2 shifts, and it actually allowed her to hire a couple extra team members through this that she picked up from another practice that lost them, but they were really great team members, and went to a staggered schedule to just kind of from a 7 to 7 p.m. But 2 shifts. That's a great idea. Sure. So, what role does digital advertising play in this right now? There's such an amazing opportunity with digital ads to answer questions. I think that people kind of forget that sometimes, that they're using ads as a way to reach people, which is very true, but it also can be used in a way to answer people's questions. That's what it's there for. I mean, that's what Google is really built on, is answering questions. So if the questions are, is a dental practice even open? Is it safe to go to a dental practice? Then that's what you should be answering. Spend a little bit extra money and throw some ads up there so that people can find you first and foremost. No, I love that, because I think we get so tunnel vision on this. Digital ads are about bringing new patients into the chair. So it's just new patient special and all this stuff, but really it's a platform for communication. It is. You're just paying for it. I mean, you're just paying to be on top. Right, but the message of safety and availability are probably 2 messages that are worth paying for right now. Oh, absolutely. A lot of our language that we've been using in ads recently have been around that. We've even used language such as, you shouldn't be compromising your health and safety to go to the dentist. Which I think is very true, because people are super nervous about that. When even that whole conversation, dentistry being essential, an essential part of your oral health, but which is a part of your just overall immune system. I mean, is huge. And obviously I think part of the conversation here too is that opportunity for market share. I think if you're looking at this as getting, I see practices going, we don't have room for new patients, so why would I invest in ads right now if I don't need, it's going to take me all I can do to get through the next 90 days just getting patients rebooked. But I think that's a very short-sighted, and in kind of advertising world, we call that a direct response approach. You don't need the direct response, so we just don't do it.
But on the other end of that spectrum is branding
Yeah.
and market share. And I think that opportunity is tremendous right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you're a practice in a community, just knowing most of the other practices are marketing, like what type of opportunities are there for you?
Mm-hmm. That was something that a lot of trends looked at last time we were through a recession, was that there were a lot of businesses that said, no, we're not going to spend any money. Mm-hmm. And a lot of other businesses said, cool, well, now there's less competition, so I'm going to spend more money and use that opportunity to be a little bit more involved in your community, create some brand awareness, and I mean, you're going to stand out above the rest for sure.
Yeah. No, I think, like if you're just looking at new patients, I think it's short-sighted, but if you're thinking about market share, like really positioning yourself as the go-to practice, like maybe you were kind of that, maybe there's 3 or 4 of you in that mix, but now this is your time to actually put some distance between them. If you were on the phone today with one of our clients and they said, Carly, what can I do in the next 90 days to really create some extra marketing momentum and take advantage of this?
If they had any ads running, they should continue to be running them. If they didn't, do them now.
Yeah.
And really focus on a social approach, just making, like you said before, we were talking about market share, talking about like standing out above the rest in your community. That's really where you're going to do it. That's really where people are at, because they're not out and about right now. And, even though things are starting to open back up and people are starting to get back out there, they're on their Facebook accounts, their Instagram accounts. Go there, communicate these things that need to be talked about, and do it effectively, and get some name recognition for that.
Yeah.
And I would say too, if you feel like, you don't have, maybe updated photography or video, do that too.
Yeah.
Video is a great option. If you haven't done video yet, if you haven't really invested in that, do it now. I mean, take this opportunity to create some amazing videos, and talk about some of these new procedures, talk about, why you started the business at all. Maybe bring in some patient testimonials.
Yeah, video is not just something that looks great and is like sexy on a website. It is the number one way to create trust, like the fastest
absolutely.
number one way.
And coincidentally, I think all of the social media platforms and channels and everything else, they basically think that video is king. So we're gonna say that video is king.
Yeah, very true. So. Just playing to their game. I want to just wrap this up and talk about us as a company. We've kind of put together some relaunch packages for clients. We've had lots of clients asking about it, like what are we doing and how can we relaunch and stuff like that. So we put together 3 things. The first one is social media.
Fair, that's a good one.
Yep. So really just creating consistent organic content.
Yeah.
You've talked about this, the opportunity to communicate and to engage with your community. I mean, is there even a better way to engage with the community right now?
I can't think of one, no. I mean, no.
Because even like being at the local farmer's market,
I'm trying to think of like a way, like I've had some clients ask me that, they're like, they love the idea of ground marketing, and I just don't think that that's something that, not in that sense, not in a very physical sense, we can do right now.
Yeah. All right, and then number 2 is content creation, photography, video, that type of stuff. Yep. And you mentioned this earlier with video, but I don't know that this whole kind of concept of telling your story, I don't know that that's ever been more important.
That's the biggest thing to communicate in this whole thing. I mean, we talk about the factor of safety and availability, but really what it's about is your practice and that story behind it. That's really all things that can be communicated through that content creation. Yeah.
And then last was digital ads. It's a great time to jump in. And if you need help with any of those, we typically don't do an ask on this show, but if you need help with any of those, Carly would love to talk to you.
I would love to talk to you about it.
I love
talking about this.